Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Have you ever wondered what makes a rainy morning feel like the warmest day of your life? Today we invite you to step into the cozy world of Ly Tu Huyen, a beautiful family nestled in the highlands of Vietnam. As soft rain whispers outside their window, this little family gathers around a crackling fire, roasting corn and sharing memories that make their hearts overflow with joy. Little Maya is home from school this weekend, and together, they're reliving the most precious moments of their journey. Stay with us until the end to discover how true happiness blooms in the simplest moments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. The morning arrived gently in the Vietnamese highlands, wrapped in a delicate veil of drizzling rain. Tiny droplets danced on the banana leaves outside, creating a soft melody that seemed to embrace the entire valley. The mountains stood tall in the distance, their peaks hidden behind layers of misty clouds that painted the landscape in shades of gray and silver. Inside the modest wooden house, warmth radiated from the kitchen area, where a fire crackled cheerfully in the traditional hearth. Maya stirred from her sleep, her small face breaking into a bright smile as she realized it was Saturday. No school today meant she could spend the entire day with her parents, and that thought filled her with pure delight. She padded across the wooden floor in her little slippers, rubbing her eyes as she made her way to where she could hear her mother's gentle movements and her father's quiet humming. Huyền was already up, her hair tied back neatly as she prepared fresh corn for roasting. The golden kernels gleamed even in the soft morning light filtering through the window. She had selected the sweetest ears from their small garden, knowing how much her family loved this simple treat on rainy mornings. Her movements were practiced and graceful, each gesture speaking of contentment and peace that had taken root in her heart. Dee was tending to the fire, carefully arranging the wood to create the perfect bed of coals for roasting. His strong hands worked with gentle precision, the same hands that had built this home, that had held Huyen through difficult nights, that had lifted Maya onto his shoulders countless times. The firelight cast warm shadows across his kind face, highlighting the smile lines around his eyes that had deepened since Huyen and Maya came into his life. "Good morning, my little bird," Dee greeted Maya as she appeared in the doorway, her eyes still heavy with sleep, but sparkling with happiness. He opened his arms and she ran into them without hesitation, fitting perfectly against his chest as he lifted her up. "It's raining, Ba," Maya observed with wonder, as if rain was the most magical thing in the world. In her young life, she had learned that rainy days meant family time, meant staying close together, meant warmth and stories and laughter. "It is, sweetheart," Huyen smiled, reaching over to smooth Maya's tousled hair. "And that means we get to spend the whole day right here, together. How does roasted corn sound for breakfast?" Maya's enthusiastic nod made both parents laugh. They settled around the hearth, forming a perfect little circle. Dee placed the corn on the grill over the glowing coals, and soon the most wonderful aroma began to fill the air. It was the smell of home, of safety, of everything good that life could offer when wrapped in love. The corn slowly turned golden brown, and they took turns rotating the ears to ensure even roasting. Maya sat between her parents, her small hands occasionally reaching out to help, guided carefully by Dee's larger ones. Outside, the rain continued its gentle percussion on the roof, but inside, warmth embraced them like the softest blanket. As they waited for their breakfast to cook, a comfortable conversation began to flow. Dee asked Maya about her week at school, and she launched into animated descriptions of what she had learned, her friends, her favorite games during recess. Huyen listened with full attention, asking questions, laughing at the funny parts, her heart swelling with gratitude that her daughter could have such normal, happy childhood experiences. Dee shared stories from his work in the fields, describing the progress of the crops, and the beauty he witnessed in nature each day. He spoke of the way morning mist settled in the valleys, of birds building nests in the bamboo grove, of the satisfaction that came from working with the earth. His words painted pictures that made even ordinary farm work sound like poetry. Then Maya, with the innocent curiosity of a child, turned to her mother with bright eyes. "Ma, tell us again about your wedding day. I love that story so much." Huyen's face transformed in that instant. Her eyes lit up with a special glow, a mixture of joy and tenderness that made her look almost luminous in the firelight. She glanced at Day, and they shared a smile that held entire conversations, memories, promises kept and yet to be fulfilled. "Oh, our wedding day," Huyen began, her voice taking on a dreamy quality. "It feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago all at once." She took a deep breath and the memories flooded back with crystal clarity. Each detail preserved perfectly in her heart. The wedding had taken place just a few months ago, on a day when the highlands had been dressed in their finest. The ceremony was held outdoors, in a small clearing that Day had carefully prepared. He had worked for weeks, clearing the space, smoothing the ground, creating a natural altar decorated with wildflowers that bloomed abundantly in those mountains. Purple orchids, white lilies, and bright yellow daisies had been woven into arrangements that captured the wild beauty of their surroundings. "Your father looked so handsome," Huyen continued, reaching over to squeeze Day's hand. He wore a black suit that he had traveled all the way to the town to buy. I had never seen him in formal clothes before, and when I saw him waiting for me at that altar, her voice caught slightly with emotion. He looked like a prince from a fairy tale, but better, because he was real, and he was mine. Dee chuckled, a slight blush coloring his cheeks. "And you," he interjected softly, "you looked like an angel. I actually felt my knees go weak when I saw you walking toward me." Huyen had worn a simple white ao dai, the traditional Vietnamese dress that flowed gracefully with every movement. She couldn't afford an elaborate wedding gown, but the ao dai had been perfect. Its simplicity had highlighted her natural beauty, and Day had said she looked more beautiful than any bride he had ever seen. Her hair had been adorned with small white flowers, and she had carried a modest bouquet of the same wildflowers that decorated the altar. "And Maya," Huyen turned to her daughter with shining eyes, "you were our beautiful little flower girl. Do you remember your special dress?" Maya nodded enthusiastically. "The pink one with flowers. And I got to carry the basket and throw petals on the ground. You did such a good job," Day confirmed, his voice warm with affection. "Every time I think about our wedding, I remember seeing you in that pink dress, so serious and careful about throwing the petals in just the right spots. You made the pathway beautiful for your mother." Huyen's eyes grew misty as she remembered walking down that petal-strewn path, Maya skipping ahead of her, so proud of her important role. The little girl had worn a pink dress with delicate flower embroidery, her hair in 2 neat braids decorated with small silk flowers. She had looked like a little princess herself, and her joy had been contagious, making everyone smile. The whole village came. Huyen continued, "Even though we didn't have much, everyone brought something to share. Mrs. Lin brought her special sticky rice. Mr. Hai contributed fresh vegetables from his garden. The Nguyen family made those delicious spring rolls." She paused, overwhelmed by the memory of such generosity and community support. The ceremony itself had been simple but deeply meaningful. The local elder had officiated, speaking words of wisdom about marriage, love, and family. But it was Dee's personal vows that Huyen would treasure forever. "Do you remember what you said to me?" Huyen asked Day, though she knew every word by heart. Day nodded, his gaze becoming distant as he traveled back to that moment. "I said, Huyen, I promise to love you not just as my wife, but as the remarkable woman who has shown me what true strength means. I promise to love Maya as my own daughter, because she is my daughter in every way that matters. I promise to build a home where both of you will always feel safe, cherished, and free to be yourselves. This I vow before these mountains, this sky, and all these witnesses for all my days. Maya listened with rapt attention, even though she had heard this story before. There was something magical about hearing her parents speak these words, seeing the love that radiated between them so tangibly. And then, Huyen picked up the story, her voice soft and reverent. Day took my hand and slipped the wedding ring onto my finger. It was a simple gold band, but to me, it might as well have been made of stars and moonlight. When I looked at that ring, I saw every promise, every dream, every hope for our future together. The moment of the ring exchange had been profound. Huyen's hands had trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the overwhelming weight of happiness, the disbelief that this wonderful, kind man was truly choosing her, truly choosing them. When she had slipped the matching band onto Dee's finger, tears had streamed down her face, and she hadn't even tried to hide them. Everyone was crying, Maya chimed in, remembering. Even Uncle Min, and he never cries. They all laughed at that. It was true. The ceremony had been so moving that hardly anyone had dry eyes. The love between Day and Huyen had been palpable, and witnessing two people who truly deserved happiness, finally finding it together had touched every heart present. The feast afterward was wonderful, Day said, his eyes twinkling. Even though each dish was simple, everything tasted like the most delicious meal because it was prepared with love and shared with joy. Long wooden tables had been set up, covered with simple but clean white cloth. The food had been arranged family style, encouraging sharing and togetherness. There had been grilled fish fresh from the mountain streams, fragrant rice steamed to perfection, stir-fried vegetables in rainbow colors, and the special sticky rice that was a traditional must-have for weddings. The music, Maya suddenly remembered, bouncing slightly with excitement. The uncle with the guitar played so many songs. He did, Huyen agreed, smiling broadly. And people danced. Do you remember dancing with Ba, sweetheart? Yes, Ba lifted me up and spun me around and around until I was dizzy. Maya giggled at the memory. Dee laughed. You were laughing so hard, and your happiness made me so happy I thought my heart might burst. But it was the first dance between Day and Huyen that had been the true highlight of the celebration. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the guitarist had played a slow, romantic melody. Day had taken Huyen's hand and led her to the center of the clearing that served as their dance floor. I was so nervous, Huyen confessed. I'd never really danced before, but Day held me so gently, guided me so patiently. He whispered, just follow my lead, and don't worry about anything else. And I did. For those few minutes, the whole world disappeared. It was just us, moving together, and I felt so complete. I told you that day that you were the most beautiful bride in the world, Day said quietly. And I meant every word, the way you looked at me, with such trust and love. Huyen, I had never felt so honored in my life. You made me feel like the luckiest man alive. You are the lucky one, Ba, Maya declared seriously, making her parents burst into laughter. The celebration had continued into the evening, with more music, more laughter, more stories shared. Children had run around playing while adults chatted and celebrated. Lanterns had been lit as darkness fell, creating a fairy tale atmosphere. The mountains had seemed to embrace them all, witnessing this union of two hearts that had found their way to each other through hardship and hope. I'll never forget the speeches, Huyen said, wiping away a tear that had escaped. Everyone was so kind, so welcoming. They told me I was now part of the community, that Maya and I belonged here, that we had a home. For someone who had been cast out, who had wandered homeless with a small child, these words had been more precious than any material gift. They had represented acceptance, belonging, a place in the world where she and Maya could put down roots and grow. And at the end of the night, Dee continued the story, when most people had left, and it was just a few close friends helping us clean up, you sat down on that wooden bench, completely exhausted, but with this incredible smile on your face. You had Maya sleeping in your lap, and you looked up at me and said, "This is the happiest day of my life." It was, Huyen confirmed, her voice thick with emotion. After everything I had been through, after all the pain and struggle, to have that day, to be surrounded by people who cared, to marry a man who loved not just me, but also my daughter. It was beyond anything I had ever dared to dream. The fire crackled, bringing them back to the present moment. The corn was perfectly roasted now, golden and fragrant. Dee carefully removed the ears from the grill, and Huyen distributed them, the warmth seeping into their hands. As they ate their simple breakfast, Huyen felt an overwhelming surge of gratitude wash over her. She looked at Day, with his kind eyes and gentle smile, the man who had seen her at her lowest and had chosen to lift her up rather than walk away. She looked at Maya, her precious daughter, who was now thriving, secure in the knowledge that she was loved and protected. The contrast between her life now and her life before Dee was almost too stark to comprehend. There had been a time when she and Maya had nothing, when they slept in makeshift shelters, when getting enough food for her daughter had been a daily struggle. She had been cast out, rejected, alone in a world that seemed to have no place for her. But then Day had appeared in her life like an answer to prayers she hadn't dared to voice. He hadn't just offered help. He had offered love, commitment, a family. He had looked at Maya and seen not a burden but a daughter. He had looked at Huyen and seen not her difficult past, but their potential future together. Day reached over and took Huyen's hand, intertwining their fingers. "What are you thinking about?" he asked softly, reading the emotions playing across her face. "About how grateful I am," she replied honestly. "About how this simple moment, sitting here with you and Maya, eating roasted corn while rain falls outside, is more valuable to me than anything else in the world. This is what happiness looks like. Not grand gestures or expensive things, but this, being together, being safe, being loved." Dee squeezed her hand gently. "We're the lucky ones," he said. "You and Maya brought so much joy into my life. Before you, this house was just a building. Now it's a home, filled with laughter and love and purpose." Maya, sensing the emotional moment, snuggled closer to both her parents. "I love our family," she said simply, with the straightforward honesty of childhood. "We love you too, little bird," they replied in unison, and the harmony of their voices speaking as one felt symbolic of the unity they had created together. Outside, the rain continued its gentle fall, nourishing the earth, feeding the streams, sustaining the life of the mountains. Inside, a different kind of nourishment was happening, the sustenance of souls being fed by love, connection, and belonging. The morning stretched ahead of them, full of possibility and peace. There would be more stories to tell, more corn to roast, more quiet moments of simply being together. The rain would eventually stop, the sun would emerge. But right now, in this moment, everything was exactly as it should be. And so there they sat, a family forged not by blood alone, but by choice, by commitment, by unwavering devotion. Dee, Huyen, and Maya, 3 people who had found in each other what they had been searching for all along. A place to belong, hearts to trust, a home to share. The fire burned steadily, the corn tasted sweet, and the rain sang its peaceful song. In a modest house in the Vietnamese highlands, happiness resided in its purest, most beautiful form. As we reach the end of our story today, we hope you felt the warmth that radiates from this beautiful family. Ly Tu Huyen and Maya remind us that true happiness isn't found in grand gestures or material wealth. It's discovered in rainy mornings spent around a fire, in memories shared and cherished, in the simple act of being together with those who love us unconditionally. Their wedding day was a testament to love's power to heal, to rebuild, and to create something beautiful from broken pieces. Huyen found not just a husband in Ly, but a partner who embraced both her and Maya with open arms and an open heart. These are the moments that matter, the memories that sustain us, the love that makes life worth living. Thank you for joining us today in this intimate glimpse into their world. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories, and share your own moments of simple happiness in the comments below. We'd love to hear what makes your heart feel full. Until next time, may you find your own cozy morning filled with love and warm memories. Goodbye, and see you soon.